In this video, I'm going to review 4 problems for Chapter 7 review for your final exam. Now, Chapter 7 was all on the properties of exponents, and there are some properties where you add your powers, some where you multiply your powers, some where you subtract your powers, and then some where you have negative powers where you have to deal with a fraction. So the first thing here that I have is 7 squared times 7 to the third. Now, I'll tell you in this property what we're going to do is add our powers together, and I'm going to show you why. 7 squared is 7 times 7, and 7 to the third is 7 times 7 times 7. And notice how there are 5 7s being multiplied together. So our base of 7 is being multiplied 5 times in a row. And if you wanted to get that number on your calculator, you would just use your caret key. I'll show you where that is. So 7, and then diagonal upwards from it to the left is your caret key. And then if you punch in the number 5, you'll get 7 to the 5th power. So 16,807. Now in the second question, it says x to the 5th. That as a base is going to be multiplied 4 times. Meaning x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th. But if you knew the rule for a power to a power, here you would multiply. So 5 times 4, if I did my multiplication, would be x to the 20th. But notice how even if I expanded it and I did what this rule said, when my bases are the same, all I need to do is add my powers. Well, 5 plus 5 is 10, and another 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. So you can either expand it out long ways, or you can use the rule, which would be to multiply when you have a power to a power. Now in this example for number 24, I have the number -4 times an x to the -6. Now the number -4 has a power. It's not written there, but it's really there. It's a power of +1. And the x value here has a power of -6. Now when you see a power that's negative, what it means is that it's on the wrong floor of your fraction. And so if you don't see a fraction, make a fraction by putting your terms over 1. And now what this means is if I'm going to simplify this to not have a negative power, it means I need to bump it down to the other floor of the fraction, which I'll do here. So put my x to the bottom, and when I do that movement, the power becomes a positive. And this is your answer for number 24. For number 25, the operation here that we would do with our powers is subtract, and I'll show you why. 5 to the 9th would mean 5 is being multiplied 9 times in a row. I'm just going to double count this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 5s. And 5 squared would be just 2 on the bottom. Now, just like when you have a fraction, if you can do any simplifying and cancel things that are alike, then you'll notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 5s left over in the top of my fraction, and that would be my answer here. So expanded form shows you why we subtract. And again, if you wanted to type that out in your calculator, opposite of what we had here, 5 to the 7th power would be 78,125. And that's the end of our Chapter 7 review for the final.